want to know what I think? Come on. What do you care what I think? Let me tell you what I think. I think, now the question is, what do I think? What do I think? Who cares what I think? Nobody cares what I think. I don't care what you think. And I don't really care what I think. Unless I'm trying to figure something out. That is to say, have an opinion about something. Or either a preference or a dislike for anything. None of that matters. I don't care about any of that. What matters is, for me, to me, what does it look like? How does it translate into behavior? Doing something. So, in other words, great, let's talk science fiction. Whatever. Who's stronger? Jesus or the devil? Superman or the Hulk? Right? You want to talk about stories? And the Bible is a book of stories. So if you want to argue about a book of stories, then go ahead and do it. But in the long run, what are you doing? That's it. If you're just arguing, and that's all you want to do is argue about a book of stories, well, that's great. Super. If that's what you're into, then that's great. And what I think about that is that nobody should bother you if that's what you want to do. Nobody should be telling you one way or another how you should think about any of that or anything. If you want to do anything like that, think like that. And thinking is doing. But I'm talking about having an opinion and then saying it out loud. If someone said, well, give me your opinion. And you said, well, my opinion is X on Y and Z. And then that person said, well, that's great, but I feel this about X and Y and Z. They never even came into my scope of vision because I wasn't raised that way. So therefore, we're going to have to realign ourselves to a new standard of communication or whatever. And sometimes that's going to end up in the worst case scenario, war, and possibly a less worst case scenario, people don't get along and then they scream and yell at each other. But in the long run, it's all about an opinion that somebody can't have any control over. But it's talking about it that will be what is at issue, because everyone will want to know what is your opinion on the matter. Not necessarily what are you thinking about it. I think a lot of things. I have a lot of opinions that I think a lot about. I have opinions about all kinds of things. And some of them are based on, these opinions come from all kinds of stuff. The way I was raised, choices I've made, things I've leaned into and held on to and immersed myself in on purpose. People that I've surrounded myself with, and obviously my life experiences and the reality as I am aware of it and have experienced it through the senses that I at least perceive that I have. And that's the best I can come up with. And in the meantime, I just keep going forward and doing whatever it is that I do. But I'm going to think a lot of things about possibly how things might change or how I might improve one way or another, because I have a thought or a feeling that is an opinion that I didn't have any control over. It just came to me like an idea or something that was not in your head or your mind before, but that appeared out of nowhere. But it came about as a result of shifting factors in your life. And this is what the jury system is based on. And the jury system sits in a box, and they look and they listen to facts, and then an opinion forms on those facts. As each of those jury members encounters, and then they will deliberate and so on and so forth, and come to an argument and conclusions, arguments, and then come to a conclusion as to one way or another. But they present the facts, they are presented with facts, and then they say out loud what their opinion is, and then they vote on it, and they tell each other what their opinion is. But that's the jury system. And then once the trial is over, then they can come out and talk about it in certain situations. But with regards to other things, such as religion and politics, and also possibly professional sports teams, this isn't always the best way to go. People have found that sometimes you don't really want to give your opinion when asked even, or invited to share it or to give it. And the reason for this is because many people don't want to know your opinion. They want to just look at it, study it, and examine it. Possibly they want to really get up in there with it, as you see, as you know. Think of this. Remember now, opinions are like, well, you know, everyone's got one. So, what do I think about all of that? This is what I think about that. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?